What if I told you that the US government secretly studied human consciousness, and what they found was so shocking, they kept it classified for decades? Declassified CIA documents reveal something straight out of science fiction, evidence that human consciousness is far more powerful than we've been led to believe. That reality itself might be an illusion, and that our minds have abilities that defy logic. These files expose a secret project known as the Gateway Process, a method designed to unlock altered states of consciousness, tap into the fabric of reality, and even transcend time and space. And here's the shocking part. This isn't wild speculation or a conspiracy theory. These are official, declassified government documents that you can read for yourself. What did the CIA discover about the nature of human consciousness? And more importantly, what does this mean for you? Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll understand how to tap into the very same knowledge that was once considered too powerful for the public to know. In 2003, a series of declassified documents were quietly released under the Freedom of Information Act. Documents that had been buried deep in the archives of the CIA for decades. Among them was a mind-blowing report titled Analysis and Assessment of the Gateway Process, a highly classified study conducted in the 1980s that explored human consciousness, altered states of mind, and the very nature of reality itself. The report was written by U.S. Army Lieutenant Colonel Wayne M. McDonnell and was commissioned by the CIA to analyze a controversial technique known as the Gateway Process, a system developed by the Monroe Institute to induce out-of-body experiences and access higher states of awareness. But why was the CIA so interested in consciousness? Because during the height of the Cold War, U.S. intelligence agencies were racing to unlock the secrets of the human mind. From remote viewing experiments to psychic espionage, the government was exploring every possibility to gain an edge over their adversaries. And what they discovered in the process was something far more profound than just military applications. The Gateway Process documents suggest that reality itself is holographic in nature, that consciousness is not confined to the brain, and that human beings may possess latent abilities that defy conventional science. This wasn't just speculation. The CIA had spent years gathering data, conducting experiments, and working with scientists and researchers to understand how human consciousness interacts with the fabric of reality. But what exactly is the Gateway Process, and how does it work? That's where things get truly bizarre. So, what exactly is the Gateway Process? And why was the CIA so obsessed with it? The Gateway Process was developed by Robert Monroe, a pioneering researcher in altered states of consciousness. His work suggested that with specific techniques, the human mind could access non-physical dimensions, unlock heightened awareness, and even transcend the limits of time and space. At its core, the process involves a combination of hemisync technology, a sound-based system using binaural beats to synchronize the brain's hemispheres, deep meditation and visualization, methods that help induce altered states of consciousness, energy manipulation, techniques to control and direct one's own life force, out-of-body exploration, a process for shifting awareness beyond the physical body. Monroe believed that when both hemispheres of the brain enter a synchronized state, a person could detach from physical reality and tap into a higher dimension of existence, one where the mind is no longer bound by space or time. Sounds like science fiction, right? But here's where it gets really strange. The CIA's own analysis suggested that Monroe's techniques weren't just theoretical, they actually worked. Their report explains that the Gateway Process allows a person to access what they called the Absolute, an infinite field of consciousness where all knowledge, past and future, exists simultaneously. This is where things take a radical turn. Because if this is true, then human consciousness is not just a byproduct of the brain. It's something much greater. It suggests that we are part of a vast, interconnected consciousness that extends beyond our individual experience. But how does this fit with modern science? To answer that, we need to explore a shocking theory that ties everything together. The idea that our reality may be nothing more than a holographic projection. What if I told you that reality isn't real? that everything you see, hear, and experience is just a projection, a holographic illusion created by your mind. This isn't just a wild idea. It's a theory supported by some of the most brilliant minds in quantum physics. And according to the CIA's declassified gateway documents, this theory might explain why the gateway process works. The Holographic Universe Theory suggests that the physical world we experience is not objective reality, but rather a simulation created by consciousness. Dr. David Bohm, a renowned physicist and protege of Albert Einstein, proposed that the universe functions like a giant hologram, where every piece of information about the whole is contained in each fragment. This means that the mind and the universe are deeply interconnected. Every part of reality contains the whole, just like a hologram. Consciousness is not confined to the brain. It extends beyond space and time. Now here's where it gets even more interesting. The CIA report states that when a person reaches deep states of consciousness through the gateway process, they are able to tap into this holographic reality, gaining access to information beyond the limits of the physical world. In other words, the reason why out-of-body experiences, remote viewing, and heightened intuition occur is because the mind is simply accessing a different layer of the holographic field. And if this is true, then what else is possible? Could human beings have untapped abilities that allow them to perceive information across time and space? The answer might already be in the CIA's hands, because these same documents also revealed that the government conducted experiments on something even more shocking: psychic abilities and remote viewing. What if you could see things happening miles away, without ever leaving your room? What if you could separate your consciousness from your body and travel to places beyond the physical world? These aren't just hypothetical questions. The declassified CIA documents reveal that U.S. intelligence agencies spent years secretly studying a phenomenon called remote viewing, the ability to perceive distant locations, people, and objects using only the mind. This was part of a top-secret project called Stargate, where psychic spies were trained to gather intelligence using non-physical perception. And here's the shocking part. The results were so successful that the U.S. military and intelligence agencies funded these programs for over 2 decades. But remote viewing wasn't the only discovery. The CIA documents also discuss out-of-body experiences, OBEs, a phenomenon where a person's awareness detaches from the physical body and moves freely through space and time. The gateway process describes a technique where deep meditation and brainwave synchronization allow a person to reach a state where they can consciously leave their body. Those who've experienced it report floating above their own bodies, traveling to distant places in an instant, accessing knowledge from a higher dimension, interacting with non-physical entities. And perhaps most mind-blowing of all, the document suggests that through this state, it may even be possible to access the past and the future. This means the human mind might be capable of time travel, not physically, but through consciousness itself. And if that's true, then reality as we know it is not what we've been taught. But what does this mean for you? Can ordinary people tap into these abilities? The answer is yes, and the techniques used by the CIA can actually be applied in daily life to expand your own consciousness, if you know how. If the findings in these declassified documents are true, then we are far more than just physical beings. We are consciousness itself, eternal, limitless, and deeply connected to a reality that extends beyond what we can see. And what's fascinating is that modern science and ancient spiritual teachings are now starting to say the same thing. In quantum physics, the famous double-slit experiment suggests that reality changes based on observation, meaning that consciousness plays a direct role in shaping our experience of the world. In Buddhism and Hinduism, ancient texts describe how the physical world is Maya, an illusion created by the mind, and that true reality exists beyond space and time. And now, the CIA's own research into the gateway process confirms that human consciousness is capable of accessing these deeper layers of reality. This raises profound questions. Are we actually living in a simulated, holographic reality? Is time an illusion, And can consciousness transcend it? Do we all possess hidden abilities that have been suppressed by modern society? These ideas might sound radical, but they align with what mystics, yogis, and spiritual seekers have been saying for thousands of years. And if we are truly more than our physical bodies, then what else are we capable of? This isn't just an intellectual question. It's something you can experience for yourself. The CIA's research suggests that with the right techniques, you can expand your consciousness, unlock deeper awareness, and directly access this hidden reality. So, how do you do it? This isn't just classified government research. It's a doorway, an opportunity for you to explore the true power of your own consciousness. The Gateway Process documents suggest that with the right techniques, anyone can begin to access these deeper states of awareness. Here's how you can start. 1. Use binaural beats and hemisync technology. The Monroe Institute developed special audio frequencies that help synchronize the left and right hemispheres of the brain. These are called binaural beats, and they can induce altered states of consciousness. Try listening to hemisync or deep meditation soundtracks while in a quiet, undisturbed space. Over time, this can help train your brain to reach deeper levels of awareness. 2. Practice deep meditation and visualization. The Gateway Process emphasizes the power of focused intent and deep relaxation. Try this. Find a quiet place, close your eyes, and slow your breathing. Visualize your consciousness expanding beyond your body. Imagine yourself floating outside of time and space, connected to a vast field of intelligence. The more you practice, the more profound your experiences may become. 3. Keep a journal of unusual experiences. The CIA's research into remote viewing and out-of-body travel suggests that people often dismiss subtle psychic impressions or intuitive insights. Start keeping a journal of dreams, synchronicities, and strange occurrences. You may begin to notice patterns that reveal deeper layers of consciousness. 4. Question reality and expand your awareness. The biggest lesson from these declassified files is this: reality is not what it seems. What we've been taught about the world, about the limitations of the mind, may only be a small fraction of what is actually possible. By questioning reality and exploring altered states of consciousness, you open yourself up to experiences that most people never even consider. And once you begin this journey, there's no turning back, because once you see the truth, you can never unsee it. The declassified CIA files reveal something extraordinary, something that challenges everything we thought we knew about human consciousness. For decades, the US government studied the true nature of reality, the power of the mind, and the possibility that we exist in a holographic universe. And now, this knowledge is in your hands. The question is, what will you do with it? Most people will dismiss this as just another theory, but those who truly seek to understand will see this for what it really is: an invitation to awaken, an invitation to step beyond the illusions of the physical world and explore the limitless power of your own consciousness. So now I ask you, do you believe human consciousness is more powerful than we've been led to think? Have you ever had an experience that made you question reality? Drop a comment below and share your thoughts. Let's start a conversation. And if this video resonated with you, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications, because this is just the beginning of uncovering the hidden truths about the mind, the universe, and the reality we live in. Because once you begin to see the truth, nothing will ever be the same again.